What's wrong with Lance Lynn? Will Jack Flaherty ever return to ace form? Join us today as we provide you with the best pitch and ditch arms on this action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by Locked On Sports Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source for fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Matthew Wane, and you can find us on all social media platforms, podcasting apps, and wherever you may listen. Please leave a 5-star review. That's Apple or Spotify. We'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're listening on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe and comment because we love to talk fantasy baseball with you. Today's episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/lockedonmlb and they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti style tumbler with every order. All right, guys, it's just me today. Dom couldn't make it. He got stuck doing a long shift. And you're stuck with me, but it's going to be a good one. We're going to manufacture that win this weekend with our pitch and ditched candidates and two start pitcher weeks. So please stay tuned and we're going to get you locked and loaded for the weekend and get you started off to a hot start next week. And we got a good one for you today, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to start off with Dean Kremer. Kremer himself, not the guy from Seinfeld, but Kremer, Dean from the Orioles here. He's not one of the best arms we'll talk about, and but he can get the job done. Baltimore has been absolutely red hot. The team has just been winning games left and right, and Dean stands a good chance going up the Chicago Cubs this weekend. I really like the upside. Other than that, he's not a long-term play whatsoever. So this is one of those key pitch and ditch candidates, right? Last week, he went out against Toronto, got the W through 6 innings, got 6 Ks, gave up only a couple runs, got a 3 ERA with a 1.33 WHIP. WHIP was a little high, but I'll take it, man. Like, those are great stats. Against Milwaukee, got lit up, but it is what it is. San Francisco held his own, and Texas a mediocre 4.26 ERA. So, like, it's not like how do I put this? Kremer isn't going to blow up your ERA. Intentionally, at least. It'll be something random, at least, because he can handle his own somewhat. And guys, you might be like, oh, why is he bringing up Dean here? But again, this is all about manufacturing the win. We don't care really about ERA. We want to get the stats. We want to get the counting stats, right? So that's Ks, maybe a W, and that's all we really care about because your ERA is probably flopped. But if you just need the Ks, Dean probably has a good opportunity to possibly not blow up your ERA or WHIP. So he's one of the better names we're going to talk about today. Other than that, I mean, we can go down this list and really talk about guys and whether they're going to blow up your ERA or not. But Dean may or may not. So with that being said, give me a moment since I am alone and I got to queue up the next guy here. We're going to talk about Mr. Clarke Schmidt of the New York Yankees. Clarke has been so hit or miss lately. It is what it is. And he's more of a guy that I kind of trust rolling out only because of the fact that he may be able to suppress runs and get you about anywhere from 1K, which is the low end side, to about 5 or 6, which is what I would really prefer. He's going up against Boston this weekend at Boston. So it's a little bit better pitching situation than pitching at Yankee Stadium at home for him. But at the same time, hey, I can see where he can go out there and give you a good start, possibly give you a couple Ks, and keep the ERA somewhat under control. If he walks away with like a 4.25 ERA, I'm not going to be upset. He was an easy pickup off the waivers at 21% owned. Clarke Schmidt can be somebody that can take you to the promised land this week if you scoop him up and he performs well. But there's always that risk when you're rostering any of the guys we're going to name tonight. So definitely take a look at Clarke Schmidt. All right. Now let's move into a name that's pretty well known and quite honestly, really shouldn't be on this list, but they have fallen below 60%, which is absolutely bananas. But here we are. This is Mr. Lance Lynn. Now, Lance Lynn was highly drafted this year, and everybody who did draft him is super fatigued over it. And I get it. Lance Lynn burned me last year. Lance Lynn has been on just a pendulum of dropping all the way down. And I'm just like, oh my God, what is going on here? But here's the thing, right? Lance Lynn has that potential to go off and get you 10 Ks because Lance Lynn at any moment, any point in time can lock in and just go, boom, here I am today. I mean, he's had quite a few games where he's had 5+, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 games out of the last 10 starts where he had 5+ Ks. Now, I'm not saying the ERA is going to be under control, but hey, who cares if you're trying to manufacture a win, if your ERA is already blown up along your whip, who cares? If he's available in your league, you might want to start him this weekend and just see if he can get the Ks for you. He's going up against Seattle. It's a tough matchup. I can see his ERA getting blown up, but again, if we don't care, scoop him up. And that's how we got to treat Lance Lynn moving forward until he can prove otherwise. But hey, Lance Lynn may have long-term possibilities if he's able to get his stuff right. And that may be after the All-Star break. We shall see. It's only in a couple weeks. Lance Lynn, if he's available in your league, maybe somebody you want to consider adding right before the All-Star break to see where he may take you and go from there. I honestly think he may be washed up, but at the same time, you never want to rule somebody out, especially somebody with a long track record like he does. All right, let's move on here. We're moving fast because we don't have Dom to commentate here. All right, we're going to talk about Mr. Carlos Carrasco of the New York Mets. Carrasco has been somewhat serviceable over his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts. Only got lit up twice, and once was against Atlanta, which, I mean, hey, everybody's getting lit up against Atlanta. And the other team is Cleveland. That was his first start back. So, hey, I'm willing to take a chance on him. He's going against St. Louis, who's been hit or miss, depending on, what day it is. And there's not too many people on that team rolling, so he doesn't have too many obstacles to climb. Carlos Carrasco can go out there, get you 4 to 5 Ks, possibly keep the ERA down, and do you a favor and kind of manufacture that win. This whole strategy is about manufacturing that win. And this is one of those scenarios. Carlos Carrasco can be that guy for you at 18% owned. So he's out there. He's viable. He's a great option for you. And quite honestly, the way I'm looking at it is you pick him up and you forget about it because quite honestly, he can do exactly what you need to do. So Carlos Carrasco may be your guy. All right. And before we move on, we have some great sponsors here, but I want to tell you who's coming up next real quick. We have a pitcher from Cleveland, a pitcher from the Angels, and a pitcher from the Twins. And these are all guys that I'm definitely streaming this weekend. Clearly, I don't have enough ads in my weekend in my leagues because we restrict that to help suppress this kind of strategy. But in leagues that aren't familiar with it, this is going to be the winning motion for you. All right. Today's episode is brought to you by the clothing company Bird Dogs. Looking for clothes that are redefining comfort and style? Look no further than Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs makes you look good, and Bird Dogs stretchy khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and legs, giving you a truly, truly sculpt look, which everybody wants. So you got to get Bird Dogs, guys. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made stiff with restricting cotton. Bird Dogs has fixed that issue by inventing cloud knit fabrics that look just like khakis but stretch so you don't have to sacrifice movement. Bird Dogs uses anti-stick sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. Man, that's a mouthful. Bird Dogs' shorts are exactly the same thing as Lululemon, but fit way better. Bird Dogs sent us a pair of shorts or two that we really like. I'm getting compliments everywhere, so definitely check out Bird Dogs. And when you go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB and enter the promo code LockedOnMLB, they'll throw in a free Bird Dogs custom Yeti style tumbler with every order. So definitely check out Bird Dogs. It is pretty dope. I'm not even going to lie. All right, guys, we're back here. We're going to talk about Mr. Tanner Bibee. Somebody that's kind of been cooling off just a tad, but I'm not ready to give up on yet. I like Bibee, but he's been getting hit a little bit. He went up against Minnesota, had a 5.4 ERA. Went up against San Diego, had a 13.5 ERA. It's a little rough, but he's going up against Arizona, who really didn't fare well against the Phillies. So maybe Bibee can go out there and give you a decent start. And Bibee's about 48% owned. Quite honestly, I'm looking at him like I should add him everywhere anyway. I'm a big fan of Bibee. I don't think that he's really on the downward turn yet. Maybe there'll be a little fatigue since he's getting high in the innings count, since he has 48 on the season. Maybe that's what we're looking at here. Maybe he's getting a little fatigued, but I mean, we're getting close to the All-Star break where they may send him down about a week or two early, which I can totally see. Because if you look at his past, right, in 2022, he only threw about 132 innings, and right now he's on pace to throw way more. So at any moment, they can send him down. But right now, as we're rolling into the weekend, we probably want to start him because Arizona, like I said, didn't fare well against Philly, and their pitching isn't anything great these days. Right now, they're all just pooping in their big boy pants and really giving up leads and doing all this unfortunate stuff. But Bibee has been pretty solid outside of those two starts. So I think that Bibee can go out there and be a valid and contribute to you possibly manufacturing the win this weekend. So Tanner Bibee is somebody I'm definitely targeting if he's available in my leagues, which he's not in any of mine because all of our friends, unfortunately, listen to us and get our strategies out from under us as we talk about it live every single day. So if you have that opportunity, definitely check out Tanner Bibee. All right, let's move on to Griffin Canning. We've been talking about Canning a lot. It's funny how it works here. Somebody that I'm not really too big into, but at the same time, hey, we need to manufacture that win, and Griffin can possibly get that job done. His last start against Seattle, he had 7 Ks. He did get lit up for a 5.4 ERA, but again, who cares, right? He's going up against Kansas City, who's been up and down, and they just lost Vinny Pasquantino, so there's less of a threat in that lineup right now. So Griffin Canning may be lined up for a good start. Maybe he'll only give up like 1 or 2 runs and then walk away with like a 3 ERA, and I'll be happy with that. But who knows? Griffin Canning can also get in his own way and just kind of get in his own head and blow up the game. We shall see. But at the same time, we really don't care about anything but Case and the possibility of a win. And right now with the Angels playing the way they are and Kansas City really playing the way they are with the injury, there's a possibility you can walk away with a win, walk away with a decent ERA, and a good amount of Ks, anywhere from 4 to 5. And that would be a great baseline. At 22% owned, you should consider adding him going into the weekend and try and manufacture that win. He's pitching on the 17th, so that would be tomorrow for you guys, and I'm recording on the 15th. So I would strongly consider adding Griffin Canning. All right, let's talk about Mr. Louie Varland. Varland has been interesting, I gotta say. I like him in some moments, and I hate him in a lot of other moments. Quite honestly, hasn't had a bunch of bad starts outside of his first start and his last 2. Everything in between has been halfway decent. So Varland could go out there against Detroit, which it's Detroit. So one of the worst teams in the league. So that's a bonus. So his ERA will probably be somewhat manageable and may not even give up a run if we're lucky here, and get you about 5 to 6 Ks. I'm loving that. And hopefully, even though he's had a high whip, hopefully he can keep that whip down into about a 1-2, maybe a 1. And Louie Varland would be a phenomenal start going into the weekend. At 20% owned, guys, I mean, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't add him and put him into your starting lineup this weekend because, hey, how many opportunities are you going to get for a layup matchup and with a guy that's going to be able to get you 4 to 5 Ks? That could be the difference of pulling off the category of Ks and possibly wins. So definitely check out Louie Varland. Wow, this episode is moving fast. I should probably talk longer about these guys because I only got about 3 guys left for you. So let's talk about Mr. Patrick Corbin. And I'm going to go on a rant about Patrick Corbin, both pro and con, because you know what? There's a lot to be said about Mr. Patrick Corbin. So, one, he's on the Nationals. So I'm really not that thrilled about him in general. But outside of that, he has been somewhat serviceable. Okay. He may not get you more than about 4 strikeouts. That's looking about like his average right now. But hey, again, it's all about manufacturing those wins. He's going up against Miami, which Miami has not been proving to be somebody that's been hitting hot right now. Jazz Chisholm is out of the lineup. Soler looks like he's cooling down a little bit. Jesus Sanchez just is a hit or miss every single game. So Patrick Corbin does stand a chance to go out there and do his thing. Patrick Corbin is a hate-love relationship. He is nowhere, shape, or form where I'm willing to roll him out outside of this matchup. Patrick Corbin has not been good in quite some time. Last year, he had a 6.31 ERA. The 2021, he had a 5.82 ERA. 2020 in the shortened year had a 4.66 ERA. The last time he was even relatively fantasy relevant was in 2019 with a 3.25 ERA. One thing I do like about him is my guy somewhat gets you some strikeouts. He won't be a K per 9. He hasn't done that in a very long time, but he will get you a decent amount and walk away with about 4 or 5, going about 4 or 5 innings deep. Maybe even longer if you're lucky. Patrick Corbin is a decent matchup this week to roll out for a pitch and ditch category. And that's really just about it for him. Okay, we're going to do this a little early because we're going to be quick tonight, guys. Last one here. We have 2 2-start pitchers for next weekend, one that we always talk about and one that we really haven't talked about at all. Here at Locked On, we're super excited about our new sports betting partner, FanDuel. There's no better place than getting in the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. New customers getting no sweat first bet up to $2,500. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. So make sure you take advantage of betting up to $2,500 if you're feeling frisky. Just download FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then wager on everything. You got points scored. You can do, over unders, everything under the sun that you could possibly think of. I mean, man, is the ref gonna tie his shoe in the second quarter within the first 5 minutes of the quarter? Who knows? Probably not that bet, but we could see. Anyway, plus FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a better chance at bigger odds, and that's with same-game parlays. So don't miss out on your chance for a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500. It's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win again. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Get started today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the MLB. All right, guys. We got the last 2 guys here. They're good names. And I really like this last guy, and I really hope he does return to form. That's Mr. Jack Flaherty. Now, here's the thing. It's a hate-love with him due to the fact that he just has a shoulder injury that just refuses to heal himself. So I just think that right now we're just like up and down in the Flaherty train. But he's had about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bad starts out of the last 6 bad starts out of the last 12 games. So that's about half his starts. He's going up against I had this earlier. Give me just a moment, guys. I apologize if anything this is making this podcast longer, and I'm sorry. Sorry. There we go. Let me get the cards. So he pitched this day. So he could be going up against the Cubs and then possibly the Nats. Actually, no, he's getting the start against the Nats, and then he's going to go out and possibly get the start against the Cubs, which are 2 decent matchups. So Jack Flaherty could give you something nice. They're not like wonderful teams where they're going to blow you away or could hit up a team. So with Jack Flaherty's strikeout upside, where you could possibly any point in time during the game walk away with 7 to 10 strikeouts, that's really what you need. And honestly, if he goes out against goes out against the Nats, he could possibly walk away with an easy 7 to 10 because the Nats are super hit or miss, and it's very rare that they play up to the talent that they're playing, even though they did that to the Phillies about last week. So Jack Flaherty has that upside to just really take over, be dominant, and really just knock over the Nats and really play the game and do his thing. And if you start off hot and you think he might get the second start here, he might have the 2-start week. You might go up against the Cubs, and that's another decent matchup where you can possibly come over and command the game. So don't sleep on Jack Flaherty going into next week. You might want to add him on Sunday if you have an ad left over. All right, last guy here. That's Mr. Reese Olson. Reese looks like he's going to be pitching against the Minnesota Twins. And on top of that, he might be pitching against one other team. I'm trying to get that for you. But Reese, let alone going up against the Twins, I do like that. He can do his thing and possibly give you some great production off the top here. So it's the Twins and Royals. I'm not mad at those two starts. Royals haven't been too wonderful. So Reese can really take advantage of that, especially with the loss of Vinny Pasquantino, and then rolling up against rolling up against the Twins, which have been hit or miss themselves. So Reese can possibly take over, do his thing, and give you some good production. He did get lit up against Atlanta, but I'm not going to hold it against him because he went up against Philly and handled his own. Didn't give up too many runs, only had a 1.8 ERA. And went up against the Chicago White Sox, who does have a little power in those bats, but are hit or miss. He had a missed night, but still had 6 Ks and a 3.6 ERA. So Reese could hold his own, could be fantasy value, and could lead you to victory this weekend. So definitely check out Reese Olson. And guys, I want to thank everybody for bearing with me without Dom. And it's going to be a short Friday for you. And I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for making us your first listen, and make sure you subscribe, comment, rate, review for all, and making, let me start that over. That's all for us today. Be sure to subscribe, comment, rate, review, and thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen each and every day. We have a new episode Monday where Dom will be back and doing most of the hosting stuff. So we're going to have some must adds for the week to come, along with some pitching strategies and things like that, and an exciting announcement Monday. So be sure to tune in for that. We have some awesome new stuff that we're adding and going to help the community grow and give you some awesome insight and one-on-one information that you'll be able to have access to us directly. And we're going to tell you all about that next week. And we're going to help you get those Locked On championships. So please tune in on Monday. Until then, guys, peace.